Okay guys, now I'm going to show you how to make the banana cake. First you're going to want to take all of your ingredients out and all of your supplies as well. First you're going to need 1.5 cups of flour. This is all-purpose flour. 1/4 cups of melted butter, a cup of sugar, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. A tablespoon of vanilla, a cup of nuts. I'm using almonds. It's really good with almonds. I recommend almonds. And 1 egg. For your supplies, I'm using 2 whisks because I'm going to use this one for the liquids and this one for the dry ingredients and all together. Then you're going to need 3 bowls, and obviously the most important ingredient, your bananas. You're going to be needing about 6 bananas so that it's really, really good. You can add more for more banana flavor, but 6 it's good. It's still good. Okay, so now we're going to start. I'm going to start by putting all of my ingredients a little bit to the side and taking my bowls. First, I'm going to start with the liquid ingredients. And for the liquid ingredients, I'm going to as well add the bananas like if it were to be the liquid. So I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to add all of my liquids, including the melted butter, the vanilla, and the egg. That's all there is for the wet ingredients, and I'll mix those together and then we're going to mix the dry ingredients. Just make sure they're really well mixed so that the banana, you can leave it as big chunks if you would like to. I like it because when I take a bite of it, I feel the banana is really, really good. But if you don't like it with chunks of fruit in your cupcakes or anything you're doing, in this case cake, you can just do the really, really, really in pieces, in little pieces, and so that it's not big chunks. But I like it this way. This may take a little bit. If you don't want to do it in chunks, you can take it you can do it with the beater or with and then we're gonna mix this. Okay, until it's well mixed. And you don't have to worry about mixing it really, really perfect. You're still gonna be mixing a lot more of the bananas when we add it all together. So that's okay. Okay, I think this might be ready for right now because we're still, like I'm saying, we're still gonna mix it a little bit more when we incorporate it all together. So I think this is good for right now. This is about how it looks. It has, well, I like the texture. So I'm gonna set this aside, and now I'm gonna do my dry ingredients. For my dry ingredients, I'm doing it in another bowl, and this way I'm gonna show you all of the steps. I'm gonna need my flour, obviously, my sugar, the baking soda, the cinnamon, and the salt. That was the oven. And the nuts, which is almonds. So I'm using a cup of this. They're really good. Gives a lot of flavor. Now we're gonna mix this together, and just be careful because if you mix a lot, it really goes on you. And I have seen that. That hasn't happened to me, but it is possible. So just be careful. You can do it as slow as you want, no pressure. Just so that you know that it's not gonna splash on you. And make sure they're all incorporated together, like so. Okay, now I'm gonna have to mix it all together. So I'm gonna take another bowl, and I'm gonna show you how to do it all together. Now when you do this, you want to make sure when you're doing the dry ingredients, you want to do it a little by a little. And something else that you can do, actually, if it's not needed, if you don't have 3 balls, you can also do it in 2. Because you're just going to need to incorporate this to this. So it really doesn't matter if you're using another one, okay? So I'm just going to show you in this 3 balls so that you have it, whatever you like better, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of my wet ingredients or liquid ingredients, however you like to call it. And then I'm going to mix with some of my dry ingredients. Now I'm going to tell you why this helps. This helps because then you get a nice, smooth, perfect batter, and that's really what you want for a good, delicious cake. So now I'm gonna add some of the dry ingredients, and I'm just gonna mix it all together. You don't add all of it. I'm doing a half of each, and then we're gonna incorporate the other half, a little bit by a little bit. So I'm just gonna mix this together, and I think this is gonna need the liquid right now. So yeah, when you do this, just make sure it doesn't come to a super thick ball, because you don't want to have that, because then when you add the liquid or anything you're gonna add, you have chunks of flour, and you don't want that in your cake, because you don't want to take a bite and then find some flour, you know. So just be really careful with not making it super thick that flour is not gonna get too dissolved. Just make sure it's all incorporated, like so. Now I have all of my wet ingredients with a half of my dry ingredients. Now I'm going to add my dry ingredients, and I'm just going to try to mix while I add them. But I don't think it's going to be a lot possible, so I'm just going to leave a part aside. I'm going to mix this, see how it goes. Okay, just make sure it's all incorporated. It's all mixed together, and you want to make sure it is, so that it comes like a perfect batter. This is one of my favorite cakes. It's really, really tasty. It's not extra sweet. It's just sweet enough. It's really good. And if you love bananas, you would love this. So just keep that in mind. It's a perfect, perfect dessert. And I love that you don't really have to put more calories into it, because you don't need any frosting, any topping to be delicious. Just like that, it's amazing. And this is why I love this cake. I love this cake. It's really, really good. You can also make this in cupcakes. That wouldn't be a difference. Now I'm gonna add another part like this. I'm just gonna incorporate it together. Perfect. When you're mixing it, you want to make sure you already have your oven preheated to a 325 degrees oven, because it takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot, but you want to make sure when it beats, you want to have your batter in your pan and everything set up just so that you put it in the oven. Be really careful when you put it in the oven. Have an adult help you if it's needed. Don't do it alone if you know it's going to be dangerous. So just be really careful. You don't want to burn yourself. No, that wouldn't be good. Just have an adult. Okay, so now we added all of the dry ingredients. I'm just going to finish mixing this. And then we're going to be able to put it in a pan, which is greased with, it's greased, and then we can just put it in the oven. And then wait for it to cook. It's going to be delicious. I can't wait to eat this. Like that. This looks like a perfect batter. I love having those pieces of banana. It just tastes amazing. So I'm just going to set this aside because I'm done with these. Now I just need this one. If you're in your house, you don't have to worry about having all of those ingredients one by one. It's okay if you just have to measure them at the time. You have no pressure. You don't have to do that. And like I told you, you don't really have to have the 3 bowls. With 2, it's fine. Just remember all of that so that you know that you don't need that much pressure. I think this looks well incorporated. This is how it looks like right now. It looks amazing because of that cinnamon and those nuts. It looks amazing. That vanilla really gives a lot of flavor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this aside quickly. Like so. And I'm going to take my pan over here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pan, and you want to make sure if you don't have one of these, you can just use like a towel or lots of them so that when you take it off, it's not hot. And obviously, take everything out of your oven so that you're ready to go. Now I have my pan greased. It's all ready. You can use any pan you want. It doesn't have to be a round one, obviously. You can do cupcakes, mini cupcakes. You can do anything you want with this. It's a really good batter. Once it's greased, you're just going to add it all. And what I'm going to use, forgot that, a spatula just to scrape down the sides, make sure everything is incorporated. And what I like doing is just, I take my whisk, done with this. Now I'm just going to add it all, and then when it's coming down, I'm going to scrape so everything goes in and we don't waste any. Just like that. Look at that. Looks amazing. It looks really well incorporated. Has a great color. It smells amazing. I can really smell all of that banana with cinnamon. It just smells amazing. All of those sugars. Everything's here. You can smell it. And then you're going to get to taste it because it's a really good recipe. You should really try this someday. This, when you feel like you want a treat, this is a really good one. It's really good. Okay, so now I'm done with this. All we need to do now is take it into the oven. So, before that, I'm just going to take a really quick, just some water. Now, for a special treat, which is amazing. They get toasted, they get amazing. It gives so much flavor. We're going to take some almonds and we're just going to put it all on the top. It gives so much flavor. I think almonds is like a really good ingredient here. It just makes a great taste. And I'm going to take some almonds and just throw it on the top. Look at that. That looks amazing. Some almonds. You don't want to over put almonds. Just make sure it's all settled. Okay, now this is ready to go into the oven. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be really careful with this. You don't really worry a lot when you put it in because you know that it's not really like, that's not hot. When you take it out, it's really important for you to have these on, especially when you take it out because it's extremely hot. Have an adult help you if it's the first time. Even if you think you have it, don't do this by yourself. I don't have a long time that, I have a little time that I have done it because now I know. But even if I know how to do this, I still tell my mom sometimes I need to do this. So, yeah, so just have the help. Now we're going to see what time it is. Right now is 7 and this is going to bake for about 40 to 1 hour. Just keep an eye on it. And when you need to have an adult help you, you can use a knife, a toothpick, anything you want. Be really careful with it. Just poke into it. If it comes clear and nothing is on it, you know it's ready to go. You take it out really carefully. You wait until it's done, and you're ready to eat. So thank you guys. This is how you do the cake.